What happened to the bully in your class? Used his father's money to spend 7 years on the other side of the world to complete a 5-year master's degree. Downright slob and a dirtbag who was way more concerned about partying and living large than accomplishing anything in life. But the plot twist was that his father only would pay for him when he was a student. So when he landed his first job, a basic entry-level position, and had to pay bills and answer to a superior, he was hit hard in the nuts by reality. Instead of lashing out or coping by drinking, he just went, time to learn about life and to become a responsible adult. Now he has a manager role that pays $75,000 and lives in a modest apartment, and is one of the nicest, most inclusive guys I know who has no issues admitting his past mistakes and apologize for his behavior. People can change. They all had children together straight out of school, then seemed to swap partners and have more children. Now there is a whole bunch of them who all hate each other because they're all dating each other's exes, and all the kids have half-siblings all over the place. There's about 8 ex-bullies in this partner swap web, and it's a mess. I still love watching all the Facebook drama it comes with though. Let's just say I am the product of the ugly duckling syndrome. I was awful, but grew up into an attractive woman. A boy in high school who I had a crush on used to pick on me, tease me, and make me feel awful. Flash forward to present day, and I find him applying for a job at my employer. He was shocked to see me, that's for sure. We chatted it up, had a nice conversation, and I learned that he was applying for a minimum wage job to make ends meet. He asks to take me out later that afternoon, and I simply said, "No thank you, I am taken. You haven't apologized for bullying me in high school either, you know," and I smiled sweetly and left. The hiring manager called me later and asked what that was all about, because she was in earshot. I told her, no hard feelings. He was hired on. He now owns his father's huge, massively lucrative construction company, which is exactly what he said he was going to do, and also let us know how much richer he was going to be than us. So yeah, it sucks because it came true. After years and years of being bullied in middle and high school by one particular guy, I took my dad's lawnmower in to get serviced, and look who we have here. Good boy Sean walks up to the counter covered in dirt and oil and sweat. He immediately knew who I was. Funny thing is, I hated this dude for so long. I even had a vision on snatching him by his shirt over the counter and beating his face into the ground. Nothing was said between us during that interaction other than the services I needed. When I went to go pick the lawnmower up a week later, he asked me to step outside. In my mind, I'm thinking, this is it. I'm going pummel this dude. He lit up a cigarette and for about 15 minutes, apologized for how he treated me in middle school and high school. He told me about how he was brought up and he's never been as tough as he came up. After high school, he went in the military and was forced to work with other races. He even explained that his hatred towards people that weren't white faded away because of the Marines. He said he had been messed over more by his own race than others and started to think about his ideology. He is a humble guy now, with regret, but is man enough to admit his faults. We shook hands and even hugged. I haven't seen him in about 10 years, but if I do see him again, I still shake his hand. The kid who used to beat me up every day in 3rd grade, I heard crashed a motorcycle and lost both his testicles. So he's got that going for him, which is not nice. The autistic kid beat him in Spanish class within an inch of his life, flipped over the desk, picked this dude's body up and slammed him, kidneys first, into one of the legs. Johnny was just your normal, happy-go-lucky video game fan. We went to see the original Mortal Kombat movie in theaters when it came out. It was my second movie-going experience. I was just a newly transplanted immigrant and Johnny was the only kid who didn't pick on me. He was cool. Johnny was heavy-set, with glasses. Juan was a gangbanger. Real colo-looking dude. He and his friends were pretty terroristic. In retrospect, I'm sure Juan had a terrible upbringing because he took it out on everyone around him. For months he kept picking on Johnny. Months. Juan was a scary guy, and I had gotten into my share of scraps, but I wanted no part of this guy. This abuse went unchecked. Juan broke John's glasses and it was just persistent. I don't remember all of it, other than Johnny just became more and more reclusive with time, and he was always bruised in some way, shape, or form. One day, in Spanish class, Juan said something to Johnny about his mom. This was before the bell rang for class to start. This was the final straw. I remember John letting out this guttural, primal scream and lunging from his desk toward Juan. Johnny began hammer-fisting Juan all over the head, his shoulders, arms, just unleashing everything he had on this idiot. There came a point when Juan looked out of it, like a limp noodle, and that was when John, still possessed by this unrelenting rage, flips the desk over and underhand body slams Juan into one of the legs of the desk. Juan let out this horrible cry of agony, and that was that. The teacher walks in, they call the campus police, and the rest is a blur. I don't remember what happened to John after this, as I never saw him again, but I do remember hearing from an acquaintance back several years that Juan was in jail for aggravated robbery. Guess he didn't learn his lesson. Thank you, Johnny, for being a friend and for not judging me while I learned the language here and adjusted to my new life. I hope all is well with you. Many years after graduation, I found out that he became a local cop in the town we grew up. It was the least surprising thing to everybody. One died trying to bully a big tree while driving 50 miles per hour. The tree wasn't impressed and decided to bully him back by not moving out of the way just before the bully attempt. I'd like to hug the tree, but I don't know exactly where it happened. He became a Disney Channel star, started a YouTube channel with creators, exploded, now he's in boxing. He was an anti-bully. He was built like a tank and had crazy eyes. Everyone was afraid of him, even the biggest, baddest bullies. Yet, he would help anyone in need and hated bullying. If you got messed with, you could ask for his help even if you didn't know him. He was a giant with a heart of gold. Last I heard of him is that he was a private contractor in a war zone and got mixed up in smuggling. He later fell off the face of the earth. Some rumors say that he got gunned down in the middle of nowhere. Other rumors say that he is sipping pina colada on a tropical beach with no extradition treaty. Full ride scholarship through football to a D1 college, scouted by an NFL team in high school, just had to make it 4 years in college. Assaulted a girl at the college, went on the run, had several warrants, got into an argument back in hometown that led to firearm discharge, and now he's in prison. Got a girl pregnant, then the cops came because turns out to no one's surprise he was beating her and the kid. Then got another girl pregnant and married her. Rinse and repeat with the beatings and the cops. Then surprisingly became a born-again Christian, got another wife and another kid, then got arrested again because he was using the Bible as a way to justify beating both of them. Kid ended up within an inch of his life. Honestly, his social media rants were pretty entertaining during this time. Multiple Bible verses about how it's his right to hurt his spouse and child, and no one should interfere with it because Invisible Sky Daddy agrees with him. Something women and children are property and not people, so the police shouldn't have gotten involved because hitting women and children is like hitting a TV or a toaster. And you'll never guess what happened after he got out. He dropped the whole born-again Christian thing, but everything else is the same. Yet another woman who can change him by giving him a kid, and yet another arrest after he beat them. She's a labor and delivery nurse, and she hasn't changed. I deliberately chose a different hospital than the one she works in when I was pregnant. I kid you not, we had a 5-foot-tall bully in our school. He gained favor with some of the bigger bullies, and I suppose that afforded him carte blanche to act like them. Anyways, a few short years after high school, he messed with the wrong dude at a party and they followed him home and shot him on his mom's front lawn.